I don't qualify to be part of the Paralympic team
because you have all your limbs intact. But we told that the 9 people who actually absconded had no deformity whatsoever.
Obviously, if they had, in that swift manner.
But for the president to tell us that his signatures were forged, you see, we didn't learn lesson from Australia because we pretended as if Australia didn't happen. We were quick to protect the officials involved in the Australia visa scandal, and that has served as a motivation for many other organizations to go along the same lines. Because see, visa racketeering and what have you, this is how people make their money. Come and tell you that, Charlie, there is this. Why do you think boys are fighting for the Black Stars to go to the US to qualify for the World Cup in the US?
The US is the destination, the target destination for a lot of people.
Exactly.
So with this one, we are going to have a record number of people who are going to go and support the Black Stars.
Exactly.
In the United States.
And sorry to tell you, but they won't come back. You see,
we took a fake deaf team to Australia.
Yes.
We were singing and dancing.
Yes.
We were calling each other for passes.
Yes. You see, the point is, this is an international embarrassment. But you see, we brought this upon ourselves.
An international embarrassment of epic proportions.
We brought this upon ourselves.
Hey.
What happened to the Australia visa scandal investigation? People will just mention Hajide's name, and Hajide will come and tell you that he was cleared by CID. Have you seen that docket clearing him?
No, I have not.
Okay.
But we've been told by the president that he has been cleared.
Okay. So who was culpable and who was punished?
We don't know.
Nobody was punished.
Because obviously something wrong was done.
Exactly.
We don't know.
Exactly.
We don't know. But it's interesting. One person collapsed and was taken to a hospital.
The team coach.
He
died. He died. And that's very unfortunate. But that has got nothing to do with those who absconded. He took ill. He was taken to a facility for treatment and he died.
Unfortunately.
Yes.
One was also arrested on his way to Sweden.
Yes.
One-way train ticket to Sweden.
Yeah, they had singing visas. You know, when you have singing,
you can
travel.
Sing it. So it's interesting that this is happening. But then again, yesterday I was having a conversation with a friend of mine on this and says, well, it's because of just how the country has become. So everybody is looking for ways and means to get out of the country. Any means necessary. Yeah. Any means necessary. Any means that you can use to get out of the country, you use it and then you get out of the country. And he started telling me the story of how Inaki Williams' parents traveled on the desert, to get to Spain. And eventually now Inaki and his brother Nico Williams are Spanish nationals, even though Inaki is playing for Ghana. His brother is playing for Spain, and the parents are, well, if they hadn't struggled to go through it today, they will not be where they are. And so if you are living in a country which is not giving you any hope for the future, you need to look for ways and means to jackpot. Yeah. That is his motivation. And he says today, if he had the opportunity, he will sell everything he has and jackpot. Go out of the country.
Lancham, you're right. And Inaki has paid glowing tribute to the parents, especially the father.
Yeah.
Right? For going through what they went through to get them where they are today.
Yeah.
Talking about what many people want to do to go out there, we don't intend stopping you. But what we can do is to advise you to use legitimate means. I've seen a video of a young Nigerian sharing his story that there were about 27 in a boat. Only 7 of them survived on the Mediterranean. Only 7.
When they get to Libya and they are crossing over to Spain,
exactly.
Right? It's a short distance, but it can be quite perilous.
That's the point.
Yeah.
So as much as possible, for all you might go, but go legitimately. Now the new route is this: you go all the way to Brazil, right?
Brazil.
From Brazil, come to Colombia, come through Mexico.
Seriously?
Yes, and then the American border. Once you are able to enter, Trump's war, the war could not go all through and through.
Yeah.
So when you are able to enter, then you just surrender to them. You go find some nice story to tell them. Now the gay story doesn't sell anymore. People, young guys, the gay story doesn't sell anymore. They know that nobody's persecuting gays in Ghana, so the gay story doesn't sell anymore. But you must find a story, seek asylum, and you are home and dry.
See, some of them start Anyway, it's someone.
Some of them start with.
Oh, no,
No, we need to hear.
No. I won't be like that Nigerian doctor who starts somewhere and told them that people come for scholarship because they want to study. I won't be that guy.
Yeah, you don't want to spoil people's connections.
It's fine.
You don't want to spoil people's connections.
It's fine. Okay,
you know that's.
It is what it is.
And it's great that people were able to forge signatures.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And used forged signatures
To secure
actually
visa.
But see,
apply
this
and
didn't happen
secure-
just now.
No.
secure
But
a
for the
visa.
national security
Yeah, yeah.
we would have all been in the dark.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, this is serious. Then then the forgery was because for the forgery to be able to go to the Norwegian embassy and be able to secure them visas, that's
Mind you,
That's crazy.
these are persons living with disability. The level of scrutiny, you are supposed to assume that these are persons living with disability.
But the
right?
people who went, it's raising questions now. Were they actually people living with disabilities or people who impersonated persons living with disabilities?
They were not people
They
living
were
with disability.
able-bodied people who just
Officials,
wanted.
officials are not supposed to be persons living with disability. You can be an able-bodied man and still be an official for the team. Be offering assistance one way or the other.
About those who have
That's
absconded,
the point. So they went in the name
team
of
members.
the contingent, but they are not these persons living with disability.
Oh, okay.
No, 9 of them, and then they absconded.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we are told, according to the president.
Able-bodied people.
Yeah.
And then, so they are still looking for them.
One of them has been
One of
arrested.
them
as
has
you
been
mentioned.
arrested.
Yeah,
The
but the
rest-
others, yeah. Omudo Mwakemura. Otilo. Anyway.
Hey, Ghana.
It's always
This is such a disgrace, eh? See, if these things continue to happen, we may be blacklisted when it comes to some things. Oh.
That's true.
We may be blacklisted.
That's true.
And these are things that we are not thinking about.
Yeah.
But people will just come back and say, well, Omainumuya Shedodo. And if Omainumuya Shed too much, these are some of the things that you begin to see happen. Nobody will want to stay.
Exactly.
But anyway, when you go to United States also, old Joe Biden has decided to pull out of the presidential race. And it's interesting the turn of events in the United States after an assassination attempt on Donald Trump. I mean, first there was a debate.
Yeah.
In the debate, Joe Biden didn't seem very coherent.
No.
I mean, it was a disaster of a showing for Joe Biden.
Yeah.
And then there were numerous calls for him to step down. He insisted that he was going to stay in the race because he's beat Trump before, and he is the only person who can beat Trump.
I did it before, I'll do it again.
I'll do it again.
Yeah.
Eventually, we are getting information yesterday that he has stepped down from the race, and he has backed his Vice President Kamala Harris. Yeah, to
You've done well.
to take over.
You spent a chunk of your time in Bono and then Ashanti region. You've been able to mention this name the way you've mentioned it. You've done well, pa. Anyway, go on.
Oh, what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say, Ibrahim Hassan?
Kamala.
Yes,
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Okay, but you've done well. You've done
Oh,
well.
you
I could have Kamala.
Oh, you wanted me to say Kamala Harris? Please. I'm from the northern region,
Yes, that's a good one.
a small town called Buya
Yeah.
in the northern region.
Yeah.
Yes, that is where I'm from.
Is that where Aboboya was invented?
Yeah, it could be because that's Abuya.
You should learn your
Abuya.
history.
Yeah, you should learn your history.
I'm not saying
Yeah.
that is the fact, but go and learn your history first before you come in this.
You know, it used to be Mahama Kambu.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mahama Kambu.
Yeah.
Until they started up a factory
No,
in
the
Boya.
Mahama Kambu is the yellow one.
The yellow one. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
The Aboboya is the
tricycle.
No,
No.
the tricycle with the bucket.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. For
Behind
carrying
it.
load and stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
exactly.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
Mahama Kambu is the yellow one.
Yeah.
The one they
Okay.
call Keke.
Keke.
Yes.
Yeah. They call it
Keke or Pragya.
Pragya.
In Kumasi, when you go to Kumasi,
In
Pragya.
Kumasi, in the Bozongo quarters, they call it Adideta.
Adedeta.
Adideta.
Hey, what does that mean?
The small version of Anti-Dede. Do you
That's a
wait
good
till
one.
Anti-Dede?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah.
Where I'm from is in the Pandai constituency.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank
so,
you for the announcement. Bandai people.
Yes.
You hear?
It's from the Pandai constituency.
No problem. No
Yeah,
problem.
so-
We'll visit there one day.
Yeah, so Kamala Harris potentially could succeed Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Because she's been backed, and it'll be interesting to see if the Democratic Party will confirm that she should be their candidate, and it'll be interesting. The U.S. election. It's in November this year, right?
It's in November, yeah. They
so-
always do this a month ahead of ours, right? And then our politicians seem to jump on whatever the outcome is to fashion their messages here
I
and
know,
there.
right?
But it's interesting. There's a process that must be followed. And I'm shocked that the media is trying to berate Barack Obama and Nancy Pelosi for not throwing their weight behind Harris.
Behind Kamala Harris.
Because
Yeah.
there's a process. And you don't want the former president who has a huge constituency within the Democratic Party to seem to be subverting the process. Obviously, she will be confirmed. Obviously.
Yeah, so
but you don't expect him to jump the gun. But the media is jumping on that and saying that she doesn't have the support of everybody. But you see, Joe Biden has done something that's now very American. I sat here and said that what's happening in America is like a country in Africa where an old man doesn't have the strength to do whatever as far as the leadership of the country is concerned. But he doesn't see it.
Case in point, Cameroon, Paul Biya is almost 90.
Uganda.
Museveni.
Yeah.
Mention, you see, but
Even
then
look
Biden.
Look at what even happened with Mugabe.
Exactly.
He had to be forced out,
Yes.
literally.
So Joe Biden has done something that we can say is American. And let's give it to them.
Yeah, he stepped down.
And now,
I mean, people within his own party were calling on him to step down.
Yes.
Immediately after the debates, they realized
yeah.
no, this man.
Referring to Trump
Yeah.
as Kamala. And
yeah, it's a problem.
yeah,
it's a problem. At the
it's-
point when you are introducing Zelensky, then you say Putin. Ladies and gentlemen, Putin.
Yeah.
Like seriously,
Yeah.
the enemy.
Yeah.
I'm sure Putin had a good life.
So that happened.
But give him his flowers. Aside everything, he brought some stability to the geopolitics of the world. After what Trump had done to the geopolitics of the world, Biden came and he sought to undo many of the things, many of the extreme things that Trump had done. And so he should just concentrate on the last 6 months of his administration, end it, and then go and rest. He's spent about 50% of his life, let me put it that way,
in politics.
in politics.
Yeah.
But you see, the flip is that others are asking, if you are not fit to run, are you fit to govern?
Oh yes, I get that.
So there are others who are pushing that he should resign altogether,
resign.
both as president
and
And
that's
give
from
the
the
reins to
Republicans. That's from the Republicans.
And give the reins
but,
to Kamala.
But that won't happen. That will not happen because
No.
it's not either or. First of all, running will have meant that he's going to be president next year for the next 4 years.
Yeah.
That is different from the next 6 months.
Yeah, and I get you. Even
Yeah.
governing is not the same as running around.
Exactly,
the
campaigning.
country and campaigning. I mean,
Yeah.
that may be very tedious for an old
Yeah.
person.
So if Kamala Harris is confirmed, she would be the second. Will she be the second? Yeah, she'll be the second Democratic nominee.
Yeah,
who is a
who's a
woman.
woman.
Yeah.
And
Hillary
the first
Clinton was
one-
the first.
Yeah.
The second will be Kamala Harris. That is if she's confirmed, and if she wins, she would be the first ever president of the United States who is a woman.
That's one.
But the polls are looking very good for Donald Trump, especially
That was,
after,
that was before this
before,
change.
but
before this
yeah,
change.
before this change, and you know, the assassination attempt has also given him some sort of sympathy
Yeah.
from a lot of people, you know. So
and his
we'll see how that
his
plays out.
His rhetoric on LGBT.
Yeah.
Depending on where you stand,
Yeah,
look,
exactly.
America
It's
still has a
helping.
lot of
Oh, yeah.
conservatives.
50
many
more than 50%.
conservatives, so you
Yeah,
get it.
and
So-
people feel like it's getting into the realms of absurdity.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it needs to be tamed.
Yeah.
Right? So those who want to go along those lines would really want Donald Trump. And the evangelicals, you know,
Yeah, oh yes.
the evangelicals,
Yeah.
those who, the pastors and all
Yeah.
of those people who are also firmly behind Trump. So
Yeah, what Kamala
we'll see how it
Harris
plays out.
brings on board is diversity. So, of course, she'll be the first Democratic candidate of African and Asian descent, right?
Yeah, African and Asian descent.
Exactly. And then
Yeah.
the minority groups, obviously, many of whom had said they were not going to vote. The young people, many of whom had said they were not going to vote, will now have a reason to vote. That's why I'm saying that the dynamics have changed. With Kamala coming on the stage now,
Yeah.
and if Trump doesn't take care and he goes gun blazing, attacking her, it will unfortunately undo his campaign. Trump has a penchant for attacking women. Did that
Yeah.
to Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
Fortunately for him, he had a bigger message, and the message of change resonated much more than the message of continuity. That's one. The other one has got to do with abortion.
Yeah, Roe v. Wade.
That is what will help the Democratic ticket. And now with a woman in charge, trust them to drum that home.
Well,
My body, my right.
we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see how that plays out. In our very own case here in Ghana, we've got the Vice President, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, crisscrossing the country. His Vice Presidential candidate, Napo, also crisscrossing the country.
Why you call him Napo like he's your age mate?
Oh,
Oh, no, he will even prefer the Napo.
He even prefers the Napo.
Yeah.
Napo. Yeah. So I'll either say Napo, but if I were to refer to him by his name, I would say Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, aka Napo.
Yeah.
He likes being called Napo.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's also
Nana
crisscrossing. Yeah.
Napo is Nana Poku.
Right? Those who are going around telling people it is short form for Napoleon, they should stop.
Yeah, it's not so. It's Nana Poku.
It's what?
Nana Poku.
No, what are the people?
Napoleon. People are saying the only Napoleon they know is Napoleon. I took it to.
Hey, Napoleon, I took it away.
He's around. Yeah, he's still there.
He's still there. He's still there. I met him some time back.
Yeah.
Napoleon.
No, I met him, I think, when Mahama met the media.
Oh, yeah, 3 years ago.
Napoleon Atukito.
Yeah.
I mean, the most famous reporter
from the presidency.
Yes,
from the Rollins days
with GTV.
Through,
I mean, that's a veteran right there.
Yeah,
doing a great job.
Napoleon, good morning.
I mean, you never saw him, but you knew his name.
Exactly.
You always see his reports.
Yeah.
I still can't even.
You can't make him out there.
Make him out.
We are on the platform.
I never really saw him, but you always saw his reports.
The name and the voice. Always there's that recall, not the face.
And that's because, you see, do you know that if you work with the state media, the presidency stories are supposed to go first all the time? I think it's an unwritten rule, right? So all the time that he was filing stories about Rollins, when we were watching news on GTV, he was the first person we were seeing.
Yeah.
Signing out. Napoleon took it to reporting from Moscow.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, I'm sure that's how come the recall.
Napoleon Atukito. So, good morning.
Good morning, Napoleon.
Yeah. Atukito. Yeah.
There's a Napoleon Napu. Not a Nanapoku Napu.
Yeah. So quite a lot going on. So when you take a look at I've got the Herald newspaper. I don't know where the Daily Graphic has run away to this morning. I can't seem to find it. I don't know if you'll be able to retrieve it online for me, Ibrahim.
No, okay, we'll do that. We'll get to it online. So give us what we have now.
So I'll begin this morning with the Herald newspaper. And it says that Baumia's right-hand man distances him from illegal deputy IGP appointment. Says he must win fair and square. No need for new deputy IGP. So this is Kofi Bentil. Kofi Bentil, we know, has openly declared support for Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia because he believes that Dr. Bawumia is the man to lead Ghana out of the wilderness. And Kofi Bentil is of the opinion that Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia does not need the Ghana Police Service to win the election, doesn't need any machinations of the police to win the election. And so if he's going to win, he must win fair and square. And so all the speculation and everything about the deputy IGP appointed because they want to clip the wings of the IGP really is neither here nor there. But he doesn't believe that the appointment that was made is even proper. You know, within the context of deputy IGP operations.
Yeah.
He's of the view that if it was just deputy IGP, really no qualms with that. But deputy IGP operations sort of gives people ammunition that there is a deliberate attempt to sort of sideline the current IGP when it comes to operations and all of that. But he believes that if Dr. Bawumia will win, he must win fair and square. And I agree with him.
Yeah.
If Dr. Bawumia will win, he must win fair and square. It should be because the people of Ghana want him.
Exactly.
And not because there were any machinations anywhere.
True.
So that's there on the Herald newspaper. EC boss unhappy with 20 soldiers protection, says it's not her choice. Okay. NDC warns TMA boss and others against destroying billboards. AG's military dismissal letter against Richard Jakpa incomplete. Colonel Festus Abuaje joins Bevlu Lati for further and better particulars. And also concerning Ghanaian staff calls for SNIT and MPRA board's resignation over alleged misconduct. So that's the Herald newspaper this morning.
The Chronicle this morning. Simpa hosts ECOWAS Parliament again. You know Simpa is Winneba, right? So you guys have been hearing Simpa Penny. You thought it's somewhere. It's Winneba.
Okay.
So that's Simpa Penny. Winneba Elder.
Simpa Penny,
yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
But
now you know.
It's not good attribute.
No. It's derogatory. Yes.
Yeah, but I didn't know.
It's like Konongo Kaya. But you know Konongo.
Yes.
Konongo there, you know. Yeah, Konongo. But all of you know Konongo. Because you've been to Kumasi.
That thing, I thought it was an exaggeration to like when it is true. That's how they
do it. It's true. Konongo Kaya will not carry, but he won't allow anybody else to carry. That's So, Simpa hosts ECOWAS Parliament again. It comes with a picture of the majority leader, a member of Parliament for Efutu, Alexander Kwame Afenyomakin. And Ghana's minister makes history. Editum appointed to lead a team of experts to reform education in Africa. And just imagine if this had come before the running mates.
That would have been viewed as a
like Charlie, this one like to have been front page, middle page, back page, center page. Where? Then this here, there's a page here.
Even up to now, there are those who still believe that he would have been a better choice for Bamia.
I know, but I believe there. Do you know the number of believe people?
There are a lot of things the people believe in. Whether those believe will see the light of day is another thing.
Exactly. Believe there. Believe there. You will believe.
You must believe.
Yes.
You need to believe in something.
Believe. And then believe is also a name in people's hometown.
So then you must believe that Ghana will be better.
Oh yeah, that one is
that's
there.
what I believe. It
Yeah,
has
it's
never
there.
gone away.
You can have that hope, but it's the hope that kills. Unfortunately.
Oh, you have the belief that Ghana will be better than
One
it is
day,
right
but
now?
probably not in our time.
No, maybe not in my time.
Yeah.
So you believe that?
Oh
Ghana-
yes.
All right, that's
yes,
fine. That's
yes.
fine. That's a good.
We'll one day have selfless leaders. We'll one day have a citizen who thinks that the nation first, right? We'll one day have a group of people who rally around the national interest.
Yeah.
One day it will happen. We've been there before, so we can go there again. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but in the past, one person says, Charlie, let's defy the odds. Let's boycott everything European.
Yeah.
And everybody rallies around that call.
Yeah.
And they boycott it. Here, just go and say boycott something. You see people who pass behind them, go and take that thing free of charge. And then come and convince others that, Charlie, the boycott is not necessary. That's the height of selfishness.
Yeah.
The other headlines here.
And who IB was referring to Ni Kwabna Boni, the
Yeah.
Oswalata Manche.
Yeah.
Before independence, you
Yeah.
know, there was a lot of advocacy, and one of his advocacy was that we should boycott European goods.
Yes.
Yeah.
A chief. And people said, let's go.
We should boycott
Yes.
European goods.
Yes. When we had conditional sales, you buy one iPhone, and we are told that if you don't buy one iTel, they won't sell you the iPhone. That was a conditional sale.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
In Ghana.
Was it good or bad?
It was terrible.
Oh, it's terrible.
I have only money for iPhone. You are telling me that if I don't buy iTel, I cannot buy the
But
iPhone.
I consume
Why don't you try and look at it from the perspective of the people who implemented it?
Because they wanted to
It's a
sell their
colonial
goods and make
administration.
money.
They just want to sell
Why
their
did
goods.
they want to do
Oh,
that?
Rantampa. This one, the devil hasn't employed you. Go
Yeah,
on.
this one, I never had to get it.
Even
Never had to get
the
it.
devil hasn't employed you.
There
Go.
was a reason.
We hear you.
There was a reason.
There was a reason for apartheid. There will
Exactly.
always be a reason for something. But whether that reason is genuine or
That's
that
the
reason
thing.
is proper, that is the issue.
There
Okay,
was a reason
can't we do something like that
Now,
in Ghana today?
okay, so if we are doing it in line with buy made in Ghana goods.
Yes, in line with buy made in Ghana.
But they're actually doing it. Buy one, get one free.
No, not
it's
buy,
actually meant
not
to be
buy one
promotional.
get one free. So there are certain things, certain specific things
Yeah.
that we should never allow the importation of.
Ban it.
Let's do that.
Yes, we can ban
Right.
it. And I'm all for it. I'm all for banning. Nigeria did that, well, right?
Let's do that.
They are
So
now
let's ban-
self-sufficient.
Let's ban the importation of rice, the
can do
importation
it.
of chicken,
Yeah.
the importation of
Well, you see, these are not things you just get up and ban.
No. You put
Yeah,
in
you
place
place
mechanism.
of second-hand clothes,
Yeah, I
of
agree.
all of those things.
Yeah. But you know, importation of second-hand underwear. It's illegal.
Yeah.
But go there. You
Oh,
see,
but why?
you see Brazils. You see, they are there. They are selling them.
Go to Insawun Trophy.
Exactly.
What doesn't the FDA
Yeah,
and
yeah.
other stakeholders say about Trophy?
People still sell.
But you see,
Oh,
the
why-
FDA people stop there and they buy trophy.
Occasionally, I'm going to that conference.
They buy trophy.
this allegation you
Ah,
are
which allegation?
this allegation you are making that FDA people stop there buy
Ah,
Are you saying no FDA work?
I've been consuming
Trophy
trophy.
ever since
Yes.
that
that
part was
ideology?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sure even Kufo himself will stop there and buy trophy. He actually brought that.
No, but it's crazy how trophy was such a delicacy,
Yeah.
like a serious delicacy
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
then, and
Yeah.
people loved it. But
Yeah.
what is it about?
But you
trophy
know,
that people love?
what the importation has done is that it has made the price like that shot
It
up.
goes
the price
up.
because now it is scarce.
Like this, 20 cities. Like this.
Now it's contraband.
20 cities, yes. So it's like how you're buying weed. You are hiding to buy weed. Right? You are hiding.
There's one quotation I saw that the price of weed has gone up.
Yeah.
But you can't complain.
Why are you going to complain to?
I remember I watched a funny video of someone who called into a radio station. I don't know. if you see
Yeah, I've
video.
seen that one too.
Called into a radio station and said, "What? No, right now,
One roll.
one roll of weed is 5 cedis."
I mean,
What would we touch?
That's
that's the country.
He said the government is so bad that now one roll of weed is 5 cedis.
Can you imagine?
We 1 row 5 cities.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be shit.
Can you imagine?
Imagine if Starr service included all this in the basket.
By now inflation. Oh gosh. By now inflation. We can't even tame it.
As if I say told we 1 row 5 cities, I said 2 cities,
Yeah.
1 city. They say we 1 row 5 cities.
One of small question. Anyway, the other headlines here are free salaries of irresponsible parents. That's according to Ochehene. Let me get that story. Charlie?
Yeah.
Parents who are irresponsible.
They should freeze their salary.
So
they should freeze their salaries and redirect their salaries to paying the school fees
who's going to do
problem
that?
and all of that.
Ochehene Osade for Amotio for me. That's page 2 of the
Chronicle
newspaper.
Yeah.
Ochehene Osade for Amotio for the penny is calling for an enactment of a law that will withhold salaries of irresponsible parents. The withheld salaries, he suggested, should be used to take care of children they have fathered but have refused to take care of them. Oh, Ochehene, we don't need a law. You know, I'm a social worker. It's called maintenance allowance. All you need to do is go to social welfare, right? And then DOFSU now, and they will summon the irresponsible father.
The best amount.
Yes, and then the mother will be there. They will look at how much the father earns, and then look at the age and then the needs of the child, and they will determine that every month this amount of money should come to the social welfare department or the office, and then the mother will come for it for the maintenance of the child. So actually we don't need an enactment. It's there. All that the mother needs to do is to go to DOFSU and then link it to social welfare. So we are done. You see, this morning the solution is
we've
there.
enacted so many laws that sometimes we forget and want to
Exactly. What I new ones is there. That law is there.
Anyway, the daily guide is what I have.
Quotation for this morning. Matthew 5:14. You are the light of the world.
Yes.
A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. So says the Lord. This is for Aduchum.
You are the light of the world.
A town built on a hill cannot be hidden, but
be
can
hidden.
crumble when there is earthquake. That's my plan.
All right, daily guide. Winneba hosts ECOWAS Parliament. NDC sold state lands to cronies. Story on page 3. Also, champion Africa education. Obasanjo to Educhum. And credible elections or coup at Forcing. Story on page 6. You can get the daily guide newspaper for the details. And SDA, not voting on December 7th, according to the church and Joe Biden.
The church didn't say that.
The church says they should prioritize the Sabbath over voting. That's what the church has told their members, that they should prioritize Saturday, which is the Sabbath, that is observed by the FDA, over voting. So they are saying that we know that according to our precepts and the way we do things in the SDA church, we remember the Sabbath day and we keep it holy. And on the Sabbath day, you are not supposed to work or do any kind of activity apart from worship God. Right. So on Saturdays, these are holy days. So going to engage in a democratic process like voting constitutes to some of the things that we are not supposed to do on the Sabbath day, because we are supposed to observe. I'm not saying the statement. I'm trying to explain. I'm trying to explain.
Yeah, I get you.
Right?
Now. I get
so
you
realize that on Saturdays, if you know anybody who is SD, on Saturdays they don't really do anything. They go to church and then they stay at home. They don't.
But they eat.
Of course,
I have this friend. Sorry, I used to have this friend who is now in US. When I was doing my service in Suta, on Saturday, you won't see him. You won't see him. After 6 p.m., he will come and we all go and drink.
The Sabbath ends at 6 p.m.
Oh, okay. No problem.
It ends at 6 p.m.
If you have visa appointment, if you are an SDA member, you have visa appointment on Saturday. Say you won't go. The same thing happened on campus, University of Ghana.
So
they've now started writing exams. The point is,
so
times have changed.
And
they are amending accordingly. The point I'm making is that it depends on how you view voting. They say worship. Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Many will interpret voting to choose a leader as part of worshiping, because whatever the leader does will have a bearing on you, and even as to whether you go to heaven or hell. You get that point? Yes. So it depends on the interpretation you put on it. But the statement I read said they should remember the dictates and the doctrines of the religion relative to Saturdays. But it doesn't say that their members are barred from voting.
The church won't say that.
The interpretation is up to you, right? As what you do. Trust me, some of them are actually vying for elections on that day. Some of them are seeking to go to parliament, on that day.
So, some of them are special assistants to people who are contesting in this election. But look, just for the records, 7th December 2008 was a Sunday.
But
it was a Sunday.
Yes.
No, but
But people
you see
voted.
the way the SDA Church views the Sabbath and Saturday is different. It's quite different from how generally other Christians view Sunday.
Well,
I get you.
They may not be in the majority, but I know certain Christians who do exactly what the Adventists
Yeah, there are
do
some
on
of them
Sunday. On Sunday.
But generally, Sunday, of course, Sunday is a day, to go and worship and all of that.
So
But
go to church?
We don't necessarily.
When do they close from church?
A lot of them don't necessarily consider Sunday as like the Sabbath day.
Yeah.
The way the Adventists consider Saturday as a Sabbath day. So that
Yeah.
there's
No,
there's
I
a
get
point
you.
of difference there
I
from
get you.
the SDA and then other
I get
Christians
you.
on
I
Sunday.
get you. But they don't worship till 6 p.m. right? On Saturday. They go to church. They
go
close.
to church. They close. They
Okay.
come home. They relax. Really don't do anything.
I know a Banku seller. I do a Banku. Santia Chimjaso.
Yeah.
Who was
She's
not,
an SDA.
She's an SDA,
Yeah.
but was not selling a Banku on
Saturday.
Saturdays.
Yeah,
And-
yeah.
And it was a challenge for us growing up, right?
She doesn't.
But then she will come on Sunday.
I mean, on
And then
Saturday, hardly will you
there's
see an
another
SDA
woman who
person
was a
opening a
Krobo
shop.
lady. She was selling on Saturday. So we'll go to her each Saturday. Sunday, they'll go to Adjo Banku. Yeah. So the point I'm making is that if they really want to vote, they can vote.
Yeah.
I'm not sure God will send you to hell just because
Or
you voted.
maybe the EC should just say,
On
if
the-
you're an SDA member, come and do special vote.
To the contrary, if you don't vote, right? If you don't vote, and it goes for this Jehovah Witness. Two of my best friends were Jehovah Witness. When I had been nominated to be school prefect,
They
they
didn't come and
didn't
vote
vote.
for- they didn't vote for
But
you.
after me winning, they wanted privileges from me.
You
And
didn't vote for me.
you see,
Yeah.
that's the thing. So if they decide not to vote, those of us who vote will go and choose probably a foolish person, right? To lead all of us.
and who may lead the passage of bills
Yes.
or laws
Yes.
that will adversely impact your religion.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Or ban your religion outrightly. It's a possibility.
Anyway, Joe Biden drops out of U.S. race. Story on page 5, back page of the Daily Guide newspaper. Nico Williams hails Jan.
Yeah.
I always have a difficult pronouncing Jan. Nico
Jan.
Williams hails Jan. Also, Ten Hag backs Sancho to click after mistake, and Kudus agents go separate ways. And Paralympic boss disowns
Paralympic.
Yeah.
Paralympic boss.
Paralympic.
Please, we heard you in the morning. He just decided to pardon you.
You heard me what? I didn't say anything.
Oh, you
What
remember?
did I say? I
Anyway.
said Kamala Harris. And
No,
I
not the
said-
Harris. The same word.
What did I say?
Oh.
Paralympics.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah,
I get it.
yeah,
I
yeah,
get it.
yeah,
I get it.
yeah.
I mean, I pardoned you.
Yeah.
So
you
I
also
take that
pardon.
No, but yours is on.
I didn't even conclude. So
Yeah,
how do
that's-
you even know what I'm talking
yours
about?
is
Both of you have
on
been pardoned.
You are saying,
Both of you
you are
have been
saying
Anyway.
Paralympic. What is that?
Anyway, but the man is in Fugu. Anyway,
Yeah.
Paralympic boss,
Yeah.
his own missing athlete, says signature was forged. Also, story on page 6 of the Daily Guide.
Yeah.
All right. I've got the Daily Dispatch. It says, excerpts from Benefson's August 30th book focus on the EC boss, the IGP, and the Chief Justice. So the book is there. Ghana's Historic 2024 Elections by Benefson. So take a look at it. Ghana now exports petroleum products to 7 African countries. That's according to the CEO of the NPA. We are exporting petroleum products to 7 African countries, according to Dr. Mustafa Hamid. Okay, your transformative initiatives in the police service is impactful. Baumia to Dampare. So Dr. Mahmoud Baumia is saying that
Yeah.
Dr. Dampare has done very well, and he has transformed the Ghana police service,
Yeah.
and it has been very, very impactful. What kind of signal does this send?
Oh,
In
that-
the wake of the appointment of a deputy IGP in charge of operations.
It means Dampare Twaso. What
okay.
else?
Okay.
Eh,
it means
Dampare Twaso.
nobody is going to undermine Dampare. And people are saying,
But
I mean,
I'm
if
not
you know
sure you
who,
will know- you will know.
if
See,
you
there's-
know who Tete Yonohunu is, he's always with
Exactly.
Dampare, right?
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
he has even been called, deputy IGP, and he's
Yeah,
using
yeah.
the
Oh,
IGP2,
yeah, yeah.
IGP2,
Yeah.
GP2 vehicle and
Yeah.
all of that. So he's already even considered the right hand man of Dampare anyway. So
the
this
point.
appointment,
That's
I
the
don't
point.
think he's going to do anything to undermine
Lantam, there's something you call
Dr. Dampare.
there's something you call cause and effect.
Yeah.
The cause can come, which has come. The effect is as whether what caused the cause has been effected. You can say, I'm appointing people to do ABCD. And that's the mindset behind people's appointment.
Yeah.
As whether after the appointment, people will go and do the ABCD.
Oh, no.
You get the point? Aha.
Yeah.
So it's called cause and effect.
Yeah.
They don't
Cause
always
and effect.
correspond.
They don't always
Yeah.
correspond. So, who wins the hour? So was Wagon. seat between NPP's Lydia Al-Hassan and NDC's John Dumelo. I've seen some polls which are putting John Dumelo way ahead of Lydia Sarah Al-Hassan.
Yeah.
As to whether or not it will materialize on the voting day,
we'll live to see.
Still remains to be seen, because Sarah Al-Hassan has beat John Dumelo in the Awaso West Wagon constituency, and so it will be interesting to see how that plays out. So yeah, that's it for the dispatch.
The Daily Satellite this morning: Nigeria minister blows whistle on 40% commission scandal on World Bank loans. What about Ghana? People are taking commissions on World Bank loans. Hey,
World Bank loan.
Yes,
and people are taking commission on
40%.
Hey.
Hey. Anyway,
it's a crow. It's a baby. You see, that is why I was asking you that. Do you believe that Ghana is going to get better?
No, this is
because
Africa.
With the kind of people that we have at the helm of affairs, and the kind of people that we've seen at the helm of affairs over the years, who have had the opportunity to make Ghana better and have not really done anything significant to improve the living conditions of the ordinary Ghanaians, and just pretend that they are doing something for us and do the barest minimum, implement some social intervention policy here, implement this one there, build, construct 1 kilometer of road here, and then, build one school building here and all of that, and that is it. The rest is sikadi basa, It makes you wonder, because it's like it's business as usual.
That's
you see, and people are taking loans and taking commissions on it, and in Ghana, we've seen, what has been said about data bank and all of that, transaction advisors for bonds, that is happening and all of that. Come on,
it is what it is.
Charlie Ghana,
Dr. Editum, the story is here as well. Dr. Editum to lead African Union's education reforms team, Obasanjo, and Ghana increases export of petroleum products to neighboring countries. I'm sure the concern should be about the pricing locally. Buying a little fuel, about 15 cedis. Biden ends campaign, endorses Vice President Kamala Harris to lead Democrats and America. That is it for the Daily Satellite.
All right.
The next one I have is the Insight newspaper. Frimpong Boateng, Nkrumah's legacy unparalleled. Also, anger in Parliament over heavy military protection for Jean Mensah. Focus on bread and butter issues. Prosecuting Akufo-Addo's appointees will be difficult. Kwesi Pratt Jr. is giving this advice, and he spoke at the Atamios Memorial Lecture held at University of Ghana.
Yeah, that same story is on page 3 of the New Crusading Guide. It says, Remembering Atamios 12 years on. A lecture by Kwesi Pratt Jr. at the City Hall of the University of Ghana. That happened on Friday, 19th July. Also, Akufo-Addo to commission 320 new homes for the Ghana Police Service. LPG marketers debunk NPA claims as unfair and call for fair regulatory practices. It's got to do with a cylinder recirculation model. They are complaining. They are talking about job losses, potential job losses, right? That if the cylinder recirculation comes, they've already made a lot of investments in the equipment that they have when it comes to providing LPG for domestic use and even commercial use, right? So if the cylinder recirculation model is coming in, it's going to significantly and drastically change the operation model, and all the investments that they've made could go down the drain. So what I've heard them say is that they're asking for some sort of compensation, right? And you know that the LPG business in this country is one which is, or industry is one which is indigenous, right? It's wholly Ghanaian. You don't find any foreigner in that space. So there are quite some concerns over there that, so if the cylinder recirculation comes, we'll have to change our business model and all of that. So the right things must be done. And so they are saying that what the NPA is saying, that they are resisting the cylinder recirculation, is not very fair. So look at that. It's in the New Crusading Guide. Also, Gender Ministry to professionalize social work practice. Social workers are not professional. The practice is not professionalized.
Maybe they are just adding on something. Because what I know is that if you are a practitioner, there is a way you should get certification for that. So maybe just probably streamlining the process. But I'm here. I don't have a license, but I'm a social worker by training, not by practice.
But by training, you're a social worker.
Yeah.
Okay. Bust continues positive growth trajectory. Posts sterling financial performance in 3 years. Good news for MMDAs, MPs, and Ghana First contractors, and also divert salaries of irresponsible parents. Ochihini has been saying that. Okay, so that same story about Ochihini is also on the Daily Statesman. But yes, that's it for the New Crusading Guide.
Yeah, so later on for a random conversation, we'll ask what makes a parent irresponsible. Yeah.
What makes a parent irresponsible?
Yeah, because that way they I think overflocked.
Yeah.
So small, no, then they slap it on you. Irresponsible parent.
Really?
Irresponsible parent.
I thought it was pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we'll talk about it.
No problem.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. The Daily Post is the final one I have. Professor Tamils will not be threatening not to hand over power if his favorite driver's mate is not elected president. Kwesi Pratt, that's a jab at the president. Crowell defies reigns for JM and Namumu. And I'm told Rollins' son was there campaigning.
Yeah.
Kimati,
Rollins'
right?
son was there.
Yeah, Kimati.
Yeah,
And
Kimati was there.
The ladies on social media are brooding over the pictures and what have you. What is that? What is that? Anyway.
Well, he's a handsome chap.
We hear you.
He is a handsome chap.
We hear you.
As handsome as his father
There's
was.
a
We
story
are not
about a certain bank in Osu.
Hey, what has that back done?
Where chairman's son,
Ah.
Chairman Rollins' son,
Yeah.
went to do national service.
Oh, okay.
And all of a sudden, people who had nothing to do with the bank,
They now
they're
want
coming to the banking hall.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
So they have to take him back.
Back,
No,
backstage. If you want to go, can't wait, you know. Yes, but it's not easy. But it's interesting to know that he's taking active part in politics
But still, people want to hear him
more.
than see him.
Exactly.
So I'm sure
But he
it's-
spoke there. He actually spoke there, but of course not so much. But he spoke, yeah. And so I think we should join the system, and it's good. Once you are from a politics family,
So he should go to parliament? You think
not really.
He should look for a constituency to represent?
that would not be bad.
His sister is already representing
The-
a constituency
the
that
father's
he comes from.
constituency,
So
so
which
to-
constituency will
But-
he
but-
go?
but-
there
but-
is-
but-
or you should
but-
go to the
but
voter
thing
region.
about-
There's definitely.
The
You
thing
want him to
about
go to the
political
voter region.
constituency is also not limited to political seats.
Yeah.
He already has a constituency.
No, he has a constituency.
he does.
How
he does.
he leverage
Yeah,
on that is
yeah.
is very important.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't really need
Yeah.
a seat.
Yes,
as
but
a
if he wants
constituency.
a seat, I will have ways he goes to the voter region, right?
to represent
A constituency
a
from there.
constituency from there.
I think that would be Northton. No,
Yeah,
Southton. 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 We will miss it. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think
definitely.
it's in that
yeah.
area,
Yeah.
yeah.
Southton. That would be Southton. Yes. Ibrahim Muhammad donates 20 police vehicles and 1,200 kVA generators to Liberia Airport Authority. Yeah, Ghana, we seem to be giving a lot to Liberia. I'm sure they need it. The last one I saw was Ayalulu. We have given some of Ayalulu buses to Liberia for them to test drive and subsequently pay. And so is it, we don't have need for them, or we have so many.
Who says we don't have need?
No, I'm asking, my brother. A man cannot ask questions
cannot
anymore.
ask
Who says we don't have need for them?
I'm asking.
Our priorities, Charlie. I thought the Ayalulu plan was brilliant.
Lantam,
Right? I thought the
we also
Ayalulu
receive
plan was brilliant.
vehicle and other things
From
other,
China.
and it's not as if everywhere in China they don't have need for these things.
That's
I mean,
true.
It happens
That's true.
sometimes.
But this one is a businessman who is donating, and it's
Yeah.
good. It's like, engineers and planners do business in Liberia.
They are corporate social responsibility.
But is there a little one that we have given to them that I'm asking question? So
But your presidential aircraft crown or sometimes.
that's true.
Then you go and rent another one.
That's true.
Isn't
That's
that
true.
one a bigger
That-
problem?
that-
Spending money to rent something you already have.
Yeah,
So
I'll avoid this. I'll avoid this
I want
temptation.
to-
So that's it for the daily
Does
post.
the president use the Falcon now?
The man is avoiding the temptation. You are
You
bringing
are
No,
the
I
bringing
want to know. I want to know.
Falcon.
Yes, the
The
Falcon.
Falcon and the Falconer. I think there is a statement like that in English. The Falcon and the Falconer.
Remember the one that the heads of state used to use before we purchased the Falcon in 2009, the flying coffin?
Yeah, it was called the flying coffin. Yes, is it the Emperor or something?
Yeah,
flying
I'm sure
coffin.
now they've sold it to one domestic airline.
I'm sure.
That thing
Or it's
cannot-
been scrapped.
We won't allow it to fly.
No.
Never. Anyway, the Ghanaian Observer is the last one I have, and University of Local Governance and Development to start soon, according to President Akufo-Addo. President Akufo-Addo to commission 320 new homes for police service. Also, post sterling financial performance in 3 years. Akufo-Addo highlights Badia's role in Africa's development. These stories in the Ghanaian Observer.
All right, and finally from you, the Statesman newspaper, the Ochehene stories there, like I mentioned, Gender Ministry partners UNICEF to professionalize social work. Natoshi.
Hey, that is still in the news.
Natoshi.
Once you come to the news, remain there.
But it's
for a
interestingly,
purpose.
she's always in the news, not because of common finance ministry.
No.
And I'll send you a second.
And only a second.
Natoshi. I only mentioned her name. I didn't even see it.
No.
I'm only
Yeah,
responding
yeah.
to you
So
mentioning her name.
Natoshi honored for promoting interfaith unity.
You see,
Yeah.
She's now
No,
she's now a member of the Peace Council.
Why am I?
Now Toshi on there
What it means is
for
that
promoting interfaith unity.
the WhatsApp platform has not been collapsed.
Yeah.
You know, the WhatsApp platform that was created has not been collapsed. So it's still active.
Local Governance University gets green light. Arab Africa Financial Consortium to propel continent's development. Baumia's tax vision gets more support. And 320 police housing units to be commissioned tomorrow. So that's the Daily Statesman newspaper. That's the final newspaper that I have as well. Yes. And we'll do some of the online stories. We'll go to starfm.com.gh and take a look at the stories that are there. Mind you, when you wake up in the morning and you want to visit an online portal, to get all your news, starfm.com.gh should be the first portal that you visit. On the starfm.com.gh website this morning, Oforiatta ordered the release of $10 million for the purchase of ambulance spare parts. Wow. That's according to Okujeto Ablakwa. Yeah. Also, Joe Biden withdraws from 2024 presidential election, endorses Kamala Harris. Accident at Kade, 7 fire officers injured. That's quite unfortunate. Stop sabotaging free SHS policy. That's the Ochihine speaking. And there's a video which we spoke to the MPC president, the Ghana Paralympic Committee president. And he says that no Ghana Paralympic team member has absconded in Norway. So that's the starfm.com.gh.
Okay, you take it to City Newsroom, I'm sure.
Yes, and on City Newsroom this morning as well, we've got the Concerned Drivers Association suspending a 15% transport fare hike. Stop illicit financial outflows to boost development. Akufo-Addo to African leaders. Hoteliers threaten legal action against Sports Ministry of unpaid African Games bills. And scrap audit service board, that's according to Domelovo. We don't oppose cylinder recirculation model. LPG marketing companies, KNUST alumnus files an injunction against Vice Chancellor Professor Dixon's term extension. So these are the stories on citynewsroom.com. So that's it for the online review. I've still got a lot more to come here on the Morning Star. Thank you, Ibrahim Al-Hassan. Thank you, Emmanuel Bipo. It's 7:37 a.m. Guess who just walked into the studio? We've got Mutala Inosa, who has just walked into the studio. He's a man who always reports to us from the courts. He always gives us the details and the updates from the courts. We understand he's Richard Jakpa's best friend. How is Richard Jakpa doing this morning, Mutala? Have you spoken to him yet?
What's your definition of friend?
Well. I mean, you have a number of friends.
You
have a number of friends. I heard that Richard Jakpa is your best friend. Is your best friend. Collins Dowda is your best friend. Deborah Seram Adabla,
your friend.
The side chick is also your is also your best friend.
We understand. Your friend.
You have a lot of best friends. You know,
when you come to
Justice Ifia Sewa Saribotre is also your best friend. Justice Ernesto Usudapa is also your best friend.
Also your best
Justice
friend.
Nabarase is also your best friend. You have a lot of best friends.
Yeah. So when you go to the best friend in quotes, so I visit all these courts and I visit all these cases that you have mentioned. So if you say they are my friends, I agree with you, because every now and then I'm with them and following whatever is happening in relation to their cases, and to make everybody understand what is happening. So those who are interested will know the updates on the cases that
I'm curious to know what is it like reporting from the courts? Is it difficult? Is it a difficult job?
It is very, very difficult.
What makes it difficult?
Very, very difficult.
Help us understand how you're able to, get in there and bring us all the details, bring us all the updates in such a timely, fashion, in such a timely manner.
The court. It's a court of record, and a court that deals with, it has a language that it uses.
Yes. And
so it is very difficult to follow cases when you don't know what is before the court. Oftentimes, the cases that come before the court have different meanings, have different aims and objectives and all that. So all cases are not just one. So you think that today happened to like this, so tomorrow it's going to be like that. Things, the processes, the procedure, and everything they do in court is procedural. So if you miss one step, definitely you get confused in the next stage. For instance, you know the reason we have the Court of Appeal and then the Supreme Court.
Yes.
Just so that when something happens at the High Court and you are not satisfied, you go to the Court of Appeal and meet 3 judges. So you move from 1 to 3 judges. The reason being that if you disagree with the one single judge, at least when you go to the Court of Appeal, you have 3 of them who will also listen to you. So at worst, I must say, you get 2 out of the 3. Or if you are lucky, you even get all the 3 in your favor. But if you are not lucky, all the 3 will also go against you. But those are the chances that you have. You have a brighter chance of succeeding when you go to appeal. And if you move from there and you decide to go to the Supreme Court, you go and meet 5. So you have a chance. So if you miss what happened at the High Court, the chances are that going to the Court of Appeal, you get missing, because that place, they are not coming there to come and talk. They are only going to rely on the document that
have been provided
from the High Court
and the ruling of the High Court.
Absolutely. And then you hear from the lawyers why they think the High Court made a mistake and the Court of Appeal ought to correct it. So if you miss one step, so it makes the understanding of the whole, the jargon, the terms, the legalese, and all of them very difficult to understand. If a lawyer is on the feet and is mentioning we are moving a motion for certiorari.
Yes, certiorari.
That way it's always difficult to mention.
What is the meaning of certiorari? What is certiorari?
So
I've been hearing it.
You've been hearing it.
Interlocutory injunction.
Injunction. So
Certiorari.
even injunction, we have 3 types.
Yeah.
We have the interim injunction, we have the interlocutory injunction, and then the perpetual injunction. So some of these things, if you are not familiar with these terms, you'll be there and you'll be like, all injunctions are injunctions. But no, they all have their
There are differences.
Yes.
So give us a bit of education this morning. First, I asked about certiorari.
Yes.
So what is that?
So for instance, I'm giving you a practical example just so you understand. So you come to work this morning and then you receive a letter from HR who says that you're not supposed to be in the studio for the next week, 1 week, and you disagree with that. So now there's a directive for you to follow. You say that you disagree with that. So for that directive to be, you want that directive from HR to be removed. So you go to court with the certiorari. So the certiorari is for the court to quash that particular directive from the HR.
So what do you call it? An order or an application?
Seeking an order for certiorari.
An order for certiorari.
Yes, so you're asking the court to quash that.
To quash
that particular directive from HR that you shouldn't step in the studio. So let's go to the court. So most often than not, lawyers let me use James Chachikwesin's case as an example. So the lawyers will say that we want the court to refer a section of the case to the Supreme Court because, or you are making an application for a stay of proceedings, so that you go to, let's say, High Court or Court of Appeal to go and
so stay of proceedings. What is that?
Stay of proceedings.
For us to stop the proceedings at the High Court.
Something has come up that I think that you should stop.
We should stop the proceedings.
Absolutely. Or the court has made a ruling that you are not happy with it, and you want the court to stop it, to hold on to that, because you intend to appeal. Once you file that particular, in fact, you have to file. And when you file, you come and notify the High Court that these are the steps that I have taken. I'm going to your seniors to go and challenge this ruling of yours. So hold on, let them decide on your ruling. When they are done with your ruling, we'll come back and tell you what has happened. So situations like that, the court can say that no, the fact that you have filed, my senior has not said that I should stay proceeding. So me, I'm doing my work until such time that my senior has spoken and they say that I should stop. Then I'll do that. So most often than not, there are issues when constitutional matters come within the courts, within the case, and you realize that no, this one court should hold on, or the court has made a ruling that you think that it is not within the jurisdiction of the court. Maybe some constitutional provision has arose and that is subject to interpretation by the Supreme Court. You go to the Supreme Court for interpretation, and then the court said no, you don't go. So you go to the High Court and say the court should quash that ruling and say that the judge saying that I'm not going to refer the matter to the Supreme Court.
So that's a certiorari.
So you are going there to just clear. You get. I'm not sure if you're understanding what I'm saying. So there should always be an existing order.
An existing order.
Absolutely.
Seek an existing order being sought. To be quashed,
removed,
or to be removed,
or to be expunged.
So if there is an existing order from a court and then a lawyer of one of the parties involved in the case is seeking for that order to be quashed or for that order to be removed, then they apply for certiorari.
Absolutely.
Certiorari. Okay, so let's we're doing a bit of legal education this morning. So the injunctions, everybody or the layperson may think that an injunction is an injunction.
Yes.
But you said there are three types of injunctions.
3 types of injunctions.
Perpetual injunction.
Yes.
Interlocutory injunction.
Yes.
And
interim injunction.
Yes. So first, what is injunction?
So let me just take it from there.
Today you are a legal luminary.
I only explain it based on the understanding that I have.
Yes, as a court reporter.
Absolutely. So let me start with the interim injunction.
Yes.
So something is happening, you note that
an injunction is to stop something from
happening
in the court.
Absolutely.
So there's a demonstration.
Yes, and you want to stop
injunction. So we want to stop the demonstration from happening.
Absolutely.
So that's injunction.
You go to court and ask for an injunction. You want the court to stop the people because you think that if they go ahead to do that thing,
it will cause A, B, C, D.
Absolutely. So most often than not, you go ex parte, and the ex parte mean on the blind side of
ex parte.
Yes. So.
It means on the blind side of the person you are seeking the injunction against.
I need not to inform you that I'm going to court.
Yeah,
because
so it's an ex parte motion.
So that becomes an ex parte application. Motion. Yes. Okay. So that one, I am rushing to go and tell the court. So it's always one-sided when it comes to ex parte motion. Mm-hmm. So people want to organize demonstration. The police disagree, say change your route, and you say you don't want to change.
Then the
route.
police go to court ex parte
So
without your knowledge.
Without your knowledge.
That is
so,
ex
but
parte.
In relation to ex parte application, the injunction that the court will grant will be for about a period of 10 days. So that's where the interim injunction comes in.
Okay.
So that one, 10 days, put the people on notice that you have brought them to court.
So when you go ex parte for an interim injunction, they will grant you the injunction.
Absolutely. Most often,
but it is
granted.
interim, which is for a period of 10 days, within which you have to notify the people
that you have
taken them to court and you have injuncted
so now
their process.
They have
so after the 10 days, they have to come.
They have to
come and hear the matter for
why you are saying that they shouldn't. So that is what happened in relation to that.
Right.
So most of them are not
interim injunction.
So that's why it lasts for a period of 10 days.
Okay. So what is interlocutory injunction?
So interlocutory injunction is also an application that you seek from the court, or you ask the court to grant you when something is pending, and you know that if the court goes ahead, or if the court do not stop them, by the time they hear your substantive matter, that thing would have already taken place, and it becomes moot, or it dead on arrival.
So like what Dr. Amanda Odoye and Richard Delaskai are looking for.
That is an interlocutory. They are saying that let Parliament hold on until the substantive matter is dealt with.
If it doesn't hold on,
and
the law passes, it may cause certain harm.
So assuming that the Supreme Court want to hear the substantive matter, and then they have not injuncted Parliament, by the time the court is done hearing the substantive matter, Parliament will have transferred the bill to the President, and the President would have signed it. And when the court eventually hears the substantive matter, all these things might have taken place. So the reason they will go with interlocutory injunction is to stop them, so that when we are done with hearing the merits of the case, then the courts can decide. So that is where you go with interlocutory injunction.
Okay. And then the perpetual injunction
always come at the end of a case. So the two of you are fighting over a property, and then the court is saying that at the end of the day, the court says that the property is mine, but because you may disagree with the property, you still want to interfere after the decision of the court, and that is where contempt of court will always come in. The court will say that now you have lost the matter, never step on the property again the rest of your life.
Perpetually injuncted.
Absolutely, perpetually for the rest of your life. You are injuncted not to interfere. If you do that, you are in contempt of the court. So these are some of the things and how they operate within the court system.
So recently, we also heard in the case of Richard Jakpa that there are some people who have been subpoenaed.
Yes.
What does that mean?
So
subpoena.
if you are supine, means that there are people who do not want to come to court and testify. Yes. So they are more like
hostile witnesses.
Hostile witnesses. You think that I know Lantam, I want you in court because I've been in this studio with you every now and then. That's for court, I won't come. Meanwhile, it is your show that I said whatever.
But I don't want to come and testify.
I don't want to testify. So in this case, the court will invite you and say that yes, there's this case in court.
So the
this
court will
says that he was there with you and he needs you to come and explain.
So the court will compel you to come. So when you are subpoenaed, that one you can't say you won't come.
You can't say you won't come.
And when you come like that, you'll be treated as a hostile witness.
Yes, you'll not be treated. It depends on the kind of, yes.
Okay, they depend on your posturing.
Some come as by way of invited by subpoena, but they come and then they offer the information that they. But and some will also come if you are not careful. They will come and even destroy your case. So you come and say that that day I wasn't even at work.
Yeah,
I didn't see him.
All right.
For the past 2 weeks, I have not seen Mutala and all that.
So
in fact, even there may be certain things that I have said it, which I think will even. I know that sometimes behind the scenes you see a lot of things. Actually, this thing I have done it, but when you come, let's say, oh, he even told me this day that when I come, I shouldn't say this.
So when it's happening like that, the person can be treated as
it's
a
very
witness.
Tricky. Yes, it's a very tricky scenario when you are calling witnesses by way of
when
some
by way
also
of
come.
Subpoena.
Yes, some also come and then they offer.
So subpoena means that you have been compelled
so
by the
in
court.
This thing, most often you become a court.
Yes,
court in the frail. It's different from you.
Alban Bagbin has been subpoenaed.
Yeah, Alban has been summoned.
And he will have to.
Yes.
He will have to. I beg your pardon. He will have to come.
And offer the court whatever
assistance. So a little education this morning from Mutala Inusa. Now we understand interim injunction, interlocutory injunction,
and then
perpetual injunction,
yes,
subpoena, and then what was the first one that we did?
So the first one that we did was we're looking at ex parte
application,
yes.
right?
So that's why I
need
to
inform
you.
Ex parte.
Yes.
And there was another one that we did earlier, right? Before we even started talking about the injunctions. But you've given us some explanations this morning.
Yes.
So we'll now want to talk about the cases, I beg your pardon.
Yes.
That have been coming up in court. Last week, there were quite a number of cases that came up in court. And so we'll talk about that. And then we'll talk about what is happening in court today as well. But all of that coming up here on the Starr Morning Show, The Morning Star, live on Starr 103.5 FM and also Empire 102.7 FM in Takoradi. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.